Peace, y'all. It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Quest, and welcome to another edition of the, Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. Oh, and shouts out to the Grown and Married podcast as well, because you know what I'm saying, the simulcast, if you will, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's your boy Quest, man, and introducing my co-host, my man, my mellow man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for L. David Harris.
What up? Yo, I'm chilling, man. I just need to find this thing that says this. Class is in session.
No doubt. Shouts out to everybody, man, who is joining us yet again for another episode. Shouts out to the grown and married folk, you know what I'm saying, the G&M. So yeah, man.
I don't know sign language or nothing else. So
yeah, man. Prayers are going up for everybody in the Bahamas. Dorian is down there. Has it gone through the island yet? I didn't watch the news today.
Well, you can't say the island because Bahamas is massive. Like there's so many islands. So yes, it has blown through a few of the islands and mash up a couple. But yeah, man.
Yeah. So I just want to take a moment, man, just to you know what I'm saying, like for real, just let them know that we're thinking about you guys. And I'm not sure of any efforts yet that have gone. I'm guessing they're waiting until everything is finally assessed and they can look at everything that has taken place and go ahead and deal with it. And, in any way, shape, and form, we can tangibly be in support of them. Then, you know what I'm saying, we probably will end up doing that as well, man.
Yeah, man. 700 islands. I just don't know how many of them it blew through like crazy.
Yeah.
But a couple of them really took a L, bro. Straight.
Yeah. Yep. And just on another note, on a lighter note, thanking God that the kids are back in school. Ah, what joy. What joy. They back in school. So that means they're not home with me. You know what
Speak
I'm saying?
for yourself.
Indeed.
Cause
yeah. Yep.
I got a few days left.
You got a few days left. It's all good in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But in a couple of days, you'll be singing the praises as well. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. What's going on that side, though, D?
You mean besides sun?
Huh? Besides sun
and nice breeze?
And nice breeze and green trees and blue waters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, otherwise, life is life.
Yeah, man. L-I-L, man.
Yeah, man. Life is life. I mean, yeah, with trials, I still don't have no car. So if y'all want to send me one, let me know.
It's coming, bro.
Yeah, because, yeah. You know what's funny? My friends who are very kind and helpful, who don't understand. I don't understand why you don't understand, because I've been going for a very long time now. You sending me links to stuff in the U.S. to buy something like a used transmission, right? Suppose it's the wrong one. What do I do? Stick it in the envelope and send it back? Like what? You can't. You gotta know that I cannot use that. Like I can't use that if it's the wrong part. And we're not talking about a lug nut. We're talking about a transmission. You cannot send the transmission back in an envelope. So thank you. Right. Thank you. But I don't live in America.
Nope.
So thank you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
Nope.
we're working it out. I don't know. Lord's working it out because I don't understand what to do at the moment. I got a 4-wheel drive. That's the thing. 4-wheel drive gearbox, different from a 2-wheel drive gearbox. So that's what's making it a little tough. But Lord knows what he's doing. I don't know.
Hey, and all you got to do is trust and obey, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, but that's the least. That's the least, man. Wifey's here, son's here, and we love each other still, man. Straight up.
That's always a good thing.
That's what it is. Yeah, man.
It's always a good thing. So yeah, man. Let's jump off into this thing. But before we do, you know what I got to do. I got to big up Breathe University. You know what I'm saying? Before that, let me just shout out. I got to give a shout out to my dude Marshall, man. We were looking over some stuff in terms of, you know what I'm saying? I'm revamping my website. And so we were going through like the changes and the new look and let me tell you something. This dude is official. You feel me? Like, and now he's branching out into a couple of areas as well. He was showing me some of the stuff that he's doing. Let me tell you something. If you want your junk to be official, if you need somebody to design a web page because you can't do it for yourself and you got a pretty decent budget, let me tell y'all something. Just go on and go over to 120 Designs Studio, get the thing worked out, and I promise you, you're going to sit back in awe because my man has a dope attention to detail. His colors that he uses, like for real, he really formulates and has his own style as the way he creates stuff. And man, let me tell you, I've just been pleased. So shouts out to Marshall, man. And yeah, hopefully one day we'll get him as a guest on the podcast. And he can talk about the balances, because he's got himself a little team of kids over there. His wife is also one of his partners in the business, and we can, when one day when we start talking about work family life, balance, we can get him on. I know we can get him on, and he can and talk with us. So yeah, shouts out to him. But when you want to breathe as bad, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful, man. Let me tell y'all something. We talk about it week after week, about Breathe University and some of the events that are going on. We just did Verified not too long ago with Karen Civil, Quincy Harris out of Philly, and Willie Mo Jr. Toby is
Willie Mo Jr.
Yeah, Toby is blowing up in a way that I've never seen. I mean, like from grassroots. The only other people I've ever seen do that is Chance the Rapper. And I promise you, he's blown up in a way with no deal, right? But he's on tour. Explain that to me. So the people have been supporting him. That's what happens when you put out good content, you know what I'm saying? And you put out stuff that from the heart, it's authentic as opposed to chasing the dollar. And I'm telling you, when you service people and when you give them something that allows them to feel like they're being poured into, I'm telling you, you got a fan for life. And so I'm just watching the stuff that is happening with Verified, and now you got 1% Club that's coming up as well. There's so many different things going on. If you haven't attended a live ETA event, for real, you have no idea what you're missing out on. One of the things that ET does is inspire. So, I mean, you know him for motivation, and as he does his motivational thing, he'll inspire you, challenge you, and most importantly, equip you with the vitamin E of execution. And I think at the end of the day, D, that's what we all could stand to do sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Is execute to help you live your best life now. Just want to remind you guys that these events sell out quickly. They do.
Excuse me.
And it's amazing to walk into these places and find it packed out from wall to wall. I mean, balcony to floor, it's packed out. And if you want to witness it for yourself, then indeed go over to etinspires.com/events to go to an event, or just become a part of the community. You know what I'm saying? At breatheuniversity.com. But find it out for yourself. I'm telling you, it's a decision that you will make that you will never regret. Yep.
Wonderful. Well, this program is brought to you by Audible. Get your 30-day free trial and audiobook download from www.audibletrial.com/marriage. With more than 180,000 titles from which to choose for your Android, iPhone, Kindle, or MP3 player. And you can pick up whichever audiobook that suits your fancy and keep it regardless of what you do next. You can keep that audiobook download, and hopefully you'll sign up for, the full service. But even if you choose not to for some reason and want to circle back, you can keep that audiobook. Let us know what you chose, and maybe it can be helpful to someone else. Again, www.audibletrial.com/marriage. What else did you think it was going to be?
Come on.
I'm getting the hang of this radio thing, Quest.
I think it's a second nature kind of thing.
That's
you feel
funny.
me?
It's funny.
Yes, indeed, man. So I thought we would jump into the topic of anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if I could title it, I probably might have titled it "From Assumption to Anxiety." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I'm saying that is that because anxiety is a killer in relationships, and it's a killer in relationships because it allows you to develop things that don't even exist. Right?
So you're talking about unfounded anxiety, or anxiety based on unfounded whatever.
Right.
Okay.
And even sometimes, even after a particular thing has happened, that doesn't mean that the outcome that you think it is going to be is that. Now, if you've committed a crime, you feel me? And you're feeling anxiety about jail time. That's understandable.
Yeah, that's
you're
different.
about to do this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're going to do the time.
Oh, you're going to do the time.
Yeah.
So in essence, you know how in marriage sometimes, depending on what it is, and I'll just create a scenario. We talked about it a little bit before, where two people, the husband and the wife, maybe it's the wife or maybe it's the husband. Or let's just say the husband is doing a particular thing. Let's say the husband's a gorilla, right? Very results driven. He likes to make a lot of decisions, and he, not that he purposely excludes his wife from the decision-making process. He's just a gorilla. They're very demanding, very forceful. But that used to work when you were by yourself, but you ain't married to yourself no more. You're married to someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say it doesn't matter really who she is in terms of personality, but she wants to be included on the decision-making process. And you keep doing this thing over and over again, where you make decisions for her, decisions for situations that that involve the both of you, and everything else. You make those decisions without considering her. She's beating you over the head time and time again because you do it time and time again, right? And now she comes along now, and the situation has come to a head. She's angry. She's crying. It might have, you might have gotten into a heated disagreement over it, and you know what I'm saying? She walks off, and she doesn't say anything else about it. Why? Because she's just had her full, right? The day goes by and she's been really quiet. She's been really withdrawn. And because of that, right, you start developing the outcomes long before you get to the outcome, long before you've had the discussion as it relates to what you're doing. You've already developed in your mind that, oh man, this is the one that broke the camel's back. This is the conversation that's going on in your head.
Only.
Right? Yeah, only in your head, right? Oh man, she's going to get mad now. She withdrawn. She don't love me no more. She don't want to have nothing to do with me. She's going to find somebody else. And then, in certain situations where stonewalling takes place, even though that's something that you shouldn't do, a day goes by, and normally where she would call you or send you a text, she didn't call you and send you a text today, right?
And truly, she lost the phone, like
yep,
in an Uber.
Yep. Or I'll give you another scenario, or whatever it may be. And now she's not texting me no more today. Who is she texting if she's not texting me?
Oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Anxiety builds up, and you start acting in ways and doing stuff like you already start setting up a defense for something that's not even there, right? Mm-hmm. And so you finally do have the conversation, and you start acting nasty towards her, or you say, so what does this mean? Does this mean that we're over? Over?
What? Over what?
Over what? Over the situation, or over and you thinking along the lines, yep, over the relationship, like you want to leave, you want to divorce me. Like, how did you draw that conclusion? Like, from this situation, you think I'm going to leave you over this? Like, once again, you assumed that this is what was going on, and you drew the conclusion all by yourself, only in your head, and then you start developing anxiety over it. You feel me?
Yes.
And because of that, your behavior is reflective of something that's going on in your head that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I don't want to get myself in trouble in terms of, because people know I have a psych background and they might think I'm being irresponsible. But the scenario that you described is almost related to paranoia, because in your scenario, it was unfounded, right? And so it's almost like the person with the anxiety and undue pressure on themselves is concerned about something like an assailant's following them and there's nobody back there, or somebody's back there, but they didn't even thinking about you, right? They're concerned that the sky is falling when the sky can't even fall. That's not possible, right? Because that's what happens with anxiety oftentimes. Not always. Sometimes it's not like that, but oftentimes the problem that's developed in the mind and emotion is based on either impossibilities or improbabilities, right? Like, for instance, think about it. So you're married, right? You have a child, and I'll say it in reverse so we're not being stereotypical. The husband is concerned because the son said he feels sick. Son is age 4, right? Son says, I feel sick. Dad says, oh, I hope he doesn't have, and then fill in the blank with like some rare disease, right? Not stomach flu, not did you fall, did you hurt yourself, but I hope our son does not have irritable bowel syndrome. Like, he's 4 and he's going to all of his exams, and this is the first and only time he's ever said he doesn't feel well and then cries for his belly. And now he got IBS. Now he got Crohn's disease. Now he got, no, he just doesn't feel well, right? But if I take it up to that level, now I have a potential relationship issue, because maybe the wife says, no, it's not all that. And then I bust back and like, oh, so now you don't care for our son. Whoa, what? He just said he didn't feel good. And it is his belly, but has no signs or symptoms of anything that you've made up in your mind. But you're basing your behavior on that extreme thing that you've been dwelling on. And now you're mashing up your relationship. Why? Because wifey to you sounds considerate and insensitive. You have said thus and so about her based on that contrived insensitivity. And now you got a beef. And then you find out 6 hours later that son was chewing gum and swallowed it. And now his belly hurt because he swallowed gum. It's indigestible. Right?
And guess what? Y'all went off into a big argument because one thing was said and the other, that's not what it is. And back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
And now you really have a problem.
Yep.
You didn't have one before.
Yep.
But now you do. Because you can't squeeze back that stuff that you said into the toothpaste tube.
Oh, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
So now you got a problem that didn't exist based on
Let me add one to it.
Yeah.
There's this show that me and Faith love to watch, right? It's called This Is Us, right? It's a show about pretty much a family that adopted a son and all the different things that come along with family and in-laws and children. So it shows all the dynamics of the relationships between the siblings, the relationship between the adopted child and the siblings, the relationship between the children collectively and the parents. They get older, children get older, they have their own families now. All those relationships from every angle that you can possibly look at, they look at those things, right? So one of the couples, which I love, is the Black couple, Beth and Randall. He's running for office, I believe in Philly is the city that he's running for office. I think he gets the position or is moving towards doing that, right? Now, the wife leaves her job or has left, or no, she got released from her job. Yep. And so when she got released from her job, they're fighting back and forth about who's giving up what and moving here for what, or whatever the case may be.
I see.
He's about to have a dinner with some major donors to his campaign, right? And so they want to see, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, I never ask you for much. I always support you in everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, can I just get you to come to this one dinner so that they can see the two of us together, right? It would paint a pretty good picture for them. And she was like, yeah, I guess I can. I guess it's about what you want. And then the scene ends and you don't see nothing more. The next time that you see them again in the show is the night that they're about to have the dinner. So he shows up to the dinner. He's sitting at the dinner table. He was sitting outside waiting for her to come up. Another couple went into the house and he's sitting. It's at nighttime. He's still sitting in the car. He calls her on her phone and says, I can't believe that you decided not to show up. And he starts to, I'm talking about go in, telling her she really needs to grow up. And what she did I forgot to tell you that one of the thing that she returned to was her love for dance. She was teaching this dance class in the community, and the owners of the place found out how wonderful she is. So she decided to teach. So she's teaching mothers and stuff. And he makes the reference to, I can't believe that you, all to show some overweight mothers how to move who'll never lose weight, like taking shots at what she decided to do, the very thing that he supported her in. I mean, the message was just like real whack, right? So he goes inside to have dinner. And as he's having dinner with them, he's explaining, oh, she didn't show up because she wasn't feeling well. And all of a sudden, while they're deep in conversation now, ding dong, they open up the door and she's at the door and she comes in. And guess what happened? The reason why he'd been calling her, and she went and returning none of the calls while he left her that nasty message. Come to find out, the battery died when she was on her way over to the house and she didn't have a charger in the car to charge the phone.
So now she might not even know the nasty message as she shows up.
Hold up though, because they said, she was like, my phone was dead. I was trying to call and tell you such and such. She's like, would you guys happen to have a charger here in the home? And the wife of the home was like, oh, sure I do. So she goes and allows her to charge the phone. And my man is sweating bullets because now he knows he left that message on the machine. So she goes to charge the phone. And while she's in the kitchen or that remote place away from the dining room that she went to charge the phone is when she checked the messages. And when they were leaving that night, he said to her, I think I need to be honest about something. I think I misread or something along the lines that revealed to her that he let his anxiety take over, or what he thought was happening take over. And he said, I left you a message on the phone. She was like, you mean the one where I'm training overweight moms to do X, Y, and Z? And they were about to go off in it, and they ended up going off in it in the show. I'm saying all of that to say is that sometimes in our marriages, you allow situations to dictate to you what your response is going to be. And you haven't even had a conversation about it yet. You allow the situation to develop anxiety in your head, and you haven't even dealt with the situation. You're already assuming and drawing conclusions, and then have the nerve. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying this anybody, because I've done it a couple of times too, D, where like for real, you are allowing, okay, here it is. When thoughts become things when action is applied. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it one more time. Thoughts become things when action is applied. And in this case, the action is anxiety. Now, that could be a good thing and a bad thing, right? A good thing in the sense that anything you put your mind to do, you can do. But a bad thing in the sense that when you develop these situations in your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you apply action to them in the form of anxiety. Those things come to fruition, and then you sitting there arguing or creating these difficulties in your marriage that in essence weren't even difficulties to begin with, because they were just in your mind.
Yeah, I've seen where people are watching a movie or even that program, whatever you just said, right?
Yes.
So you got two grown-ups sitting in front of a box with backlight in it, right? And let's just say you got some actors on there, right? Mm-hmm. You said This Is Us. Okay, This Is Us. I've never seen it, and you told me about it, but whatever. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard of it, mm-hmm. right? Because I live under a rock. So let's just say there's an episode of this program, and mm-hmm. one of the characters' name is Quest, because I'm uncreative, and the other one's name is Faith.
Yeah.
But did you note that I said character, mm-hmm. and that it was television, and the people were on the other side of a backlighted box? Mm-hmm. Right? And so now you have a couple, they're married, they're sitting in front of the backlit box, and Quest says something on the program. His name is really Robert, but on the program, his name is Quest. Quest says something to Faith, and now one or the other of the persons in the relationship pauses the TV, because you could do that now. So did you hear what Quest said? Yeah, can we keep watching this? Mm-hmm. No, let's talk about what Quest said. The nerve of him. Like, what do you mean? Like the guy on the TV? Mm-hmm. He's not real. What you mean the nerve of him? No, I really want to talk about this because this. But Quest is not real. So why are we talking about? Can we just watch the rest of the show? No, this is something that people go through all the time. And I want to talk about it right now. Mm-hmm. But, okay, can we talk about it when the show is over? No, I want to talk about it now. Talk about it what? What are we talking about? What he just said. Well, I don't even know what he said. Like, I was just watching the show. Mm-hmm. But couples go through this all the time. It's like, no. And now you're having an argument about some guy whose name really isn't Quest, and the scenario doesn't exist, and it's television. Mm-hmm. And now you're having a real live debate and discussion and maybe argument or blowout, worst case, over something that didn't exist by a character that doesn't exist. And maybe you were even wasting your time watching the stupid program. I don't know about that program you're watching because I've never seen it before. But you understand what I'm saying?
But it happens in any program. It could happen with any movie. You know what I'm saying? And so let me give you some tips on how to navigate through this thing, because, like, for real, we've had and it happens with women a lot because they like to watch some of these programs sometimes. My wife, I'm like, sweetheart, is that something that we're dealing with right now? Why you want to discuss it? And I'll discuss it with you if you want to, but I'm just saying, like, is that something that we're dealing with?
Right.
No, not necessarily, but it happens in couples' relationships all the time. Okay. If it's not something that we're dealing with, be careful now.
I'd be like, I don't know them.
Yeah.
I don't know them. I don't know them.
Not that I want that to happen here, and I'm not saying that we can't discuss it, but be careful what we're introducing into our conversation. And a lot of the times, like, for real, it's just that. Realize that it's just a conversation. Now, if you want to talk about it and how but don't introduce it as though it might be a problem if it's not a problem in ours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can open up the Pandora's box, and then when it's open, it all hell breaks loose, and you can't close it.
Oh, but hey, babe, what if so and so happened? Nah. I'm not having that conversation with you.
Nope.
I'm just not going to have that conversation.
Nope.
What if the sky falls? Like, what if the moon is really not the moon? It's the sun. Like, I'm not talking about this stuff because it's not true. It doesn't exist. I don't talk about stuff. The hypothetical means absolutely nothing to me. I'm not having that conversation with you.
I think at the end of the day, D, is it productive?
Well, it could be, but the risk is the risk versus reward ratio, right? Because I'm not going to say it's not productive, but at the same time, because the conversation hasn't happened yet, and the conversation is based on hypothetical and sometimes fantastical, right? the risk versus reward ratio is not slanted enough in my favor for me to risk it. So I'm like, I'd rather take a beating for being a jerk and being like, I'm not talking about that. It doesn't exist. I'm not talking about that. I'd rather take the beating on that side than jumping into the deep end of the pool on some stuff that doesn't exist. This trying to make me talk about something I don't want to talk about does exist. So I'll take the beating on that. But I'm not taking the beating on a hypothetical, fantastical television or some other married couple's scenario that is not mine. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it, bro.
Yep.
Call me stubborn, but I'm not doing it.
Yep. So I guess one of the things is that, like, for real, start addressing your anxiety.
Yeah. Be honest.
If you have the issue, like D just said it, be honest with yourself if it's an issue, because here's the funny thing. If you don't deal with it, it'll come back and manifest itself in many different ways.
True.
And it can bring damage to your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you're always creating scenarios in your brain upon things that don't even exist. And when you're operating on things that don't even exist, your spouse is looking at you like, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
Right? And here's the funny thing I learned, D. I learned that a lot of the times when people are dealing with anxiety, it's something from the past that's representing itself all over again.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that you experienced in the past? Like, for real. And it's like when you're in the garden and you're trying to pull weeds up and you pull them up at the surface, but the root is still in the ground. Guess what that weed going to do? It's going to end up coming back. Why? Because you didn't pull it up at the root. And so, yeah, anxiety is one of them things. It's like a weed. It grow up in the garden of your marriage and it will destroy all the beauty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the sweetness, all the lovely things about your marriage. It will destroy it. Why? Because that's what weeds do. It sucks up all the resources, sucks up all the life, sucks up everything in your relationship. Yep.
Yeah.
Get that taken care of, man.
Yeah. Yep. So I think now is a good time to pull up roots here, because I'm feeling anxious about the unknown. Like, what if we're late?
Yeah.
What if we're late? And then I'm just joking. Yeah. But yeah, this is a good point to stop at. Yeah. We need to get this stuff addressed before we make a mess of our marriages. That's all I'm going to say. Holla, y'all.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.